So, today we're going to do a full look, and I was really inspired by all the colors that are changing on the trees right now. So I thought we'd do maybe a really cute fall look. You know, not something too flashy, too bright, too dark, just something nice and fall for the leaves changing and everything. I got really inspired by the peachy orangey colors and stuff like that on the trees right now. So I thought we'd do a little get ready with me for like a fall look. So the first thing I want to do is prime my eyes. Now because I have hooded eyes, I always prime. It just helps stop my eyeshadow from creasing and stuff like that. If you got hooded eyes, then you totally get me, and if you don't, you are super lucky. I'm just going in with the OG Urban Decay Potion Primer, and I like to just pat that in everywhere. And then while that's sitting, I prime the rest of my face. Excuse me, I have been down and out with a cold for the last 2 weeks, which is why I haven't posted much. If you've obviously ever been sick, you know, you feel like crud sometimes, and you just don't feel like wearing makeup those days. So spent a lot of time just laying around on the couch. Now it passed through my whole house. It started with my daughter, and no, it was not COVID, luckily. Very grateful. Just a really nasty head cold. Then of course I got it, and then my son got it, and then my husband got it, and I still have it. They've all gotten better and over with it, and here I am still fighting it. So if I sound a little funny, I'm sorry. I can't make it go away. Okay. Now I know a lot of people say you don't have to prime your whole face, and you really don't. You don't. It's just personal preference for me, because I like my foundation to sit on my face the same everywhere, not just in certain spots of my face look one way and in certain spots look a different way. So it's just personal preference for me that I like to put primer on my whole face, but I like to put my primers on right away because I like to let them sink into the skin a little bit. And then I'm just going to take some of my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I am going to put that on my eyes to set my primer. I find it difficult, especially with older eyes, that if you don't set it and you leave it tacky or sticky, it's much harder to get your eyeshadow to blend out better. Because, you know, our eyes are not as taut and tight and beautiful as they were when we were in our 20s and our 30s, and now I'm hitting my mid-40s, so, you know, my skin is much more looser and wrinklier. See. So I just find it a lot easier if I just set it with, I like to use a translucent powder, so it does change or alter the color of whatever eyeshadow I want to use. But again, personal preference, you know, so. And then I know a lot of girls like to go in and do their eyebrows first, but I don't. I like to do my eye makeup first and then go in and do my eyebrows. So I'm going to use, don't mind the powder. That was the Laura Mercier translucent powder that I was using. I just dumped some on here. I'm going to be using this Pinky Rose Rustic Rose palette because it has so many beautiful colors in here for fall. Can you see those colors? I mean, look at how gorgeous they are. Now, I know this palette is quite old, but I like reusing all my products. Like, I don't want them to go to waste. And it may not look like I haven't touched it at all, but there must be pretty deep pans in there because I have used this quite a bit and still feel like I have not made a single dent in any color that's in there. But it just has some beautiful colors in there that I got inspired by from looking at the trees outside and stuff like that. And, you know, I just thought, oh, wow, that color looks just like the leaves on that tree today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these top last two colors and kind of mix them together a little bit as my transition shade. Oopsie daisies. And I'm just going to start that up here. Now I don't want to go for something super, super, super dark. Somewhere light to medium. But again, you know, whatever, however dark you want it to be, that's your personal preference. I'm just so inspired by the leaves changing because they're finally starting to change now, which is very unusual for buffalo because usually they've done changed and all fallen off already, and they haven't. In my neighborhood, they just started changing last week, so I kind of really just got inspired with that. And it's funny because we got snow the other day, our first snowfall, and I was thinking all the way back to the October storm that we had when we got 7, or I don't know how many feet we got, but it was pretty bad because the trees had not lost their leaves yet, and you know, many trees fell and broke and pulled down power lines, and we lost our power for weeks, you know, and heat and all that scary stuff, and all the flashbacks and memories came flooding in the other day. I think it was Saturday when it started snowing outside. I'm like, oh no, please. None of the trees have lost their leaves yet, and it's snowing so bad outside. But luckily, it kind of stopped. Maybe, you know, just enough to cover the grass. So, got pretty lucky. And it's been snowing on and off ever since, you know. A little here, a little there. And then it stops. So, I don't know if you guys can see that. So, it's more like just a soft orangey brownish color. Very, very much, very similar to the colors on the trees outside that I was admiring so much the other day. Excuse me. See, I told you I can't get rid of this cold. Any suggestions for helping me? My sinuses driving me crazy. Next I'm going to go down to the third row, and I'm going to go into this very last color over here, right here, and I'm going to use that on my outer V. I wish they had color names on here, but there's not, so I'm just going to do my best to point the colors out to you, and hopefully that will help some. And I'm using the totally wrong brush here. I'm just going to use a Morphe M43 brush and darken up my V a little bit. Am I the only one that makes weird faces when I'm doing my makeup? Or is it amusing? Is it annoying? I can't be the only one, right? I'm going to take what was left across my crease and a little bit above it. I don't want to lose that orangey color though. Kind of just gives me the reminder of the trunk for the tree, you know, with that brown. And because my eyes are hooded, making sure that I take this color up above my actual crease. Because if I just leave it where the crease is and down, once I open my eyes, you won't see that color anymore again. So I always make sure that I take them up. That's why I move my transition shade up pretty close to my eyebrows, but not actually touching my eyebrows. But I like to have it up a little higher so it's still visible. And then still be able to darken and deepen up just above it a little bit more, trying to fake it. Fake it till I make it. And my biggest thing is blend, blend, blend. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Now, you could go many different ways with this. You could go with a really beautiful shimmer. You can go with a matte. I mean, there's so many other things you can do to how do I want to put this? To change the way of the look to your personal preference, you know. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 1, 2, 3, 4th row down, the very first color here. Just going to take that a little bit more on my V here. Just right out on the outer corner. I'm not bringing it in or anything like that. I'm just strictly keeping it right out here. Just to give it a little more dimension. Now you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You know, it can be a lot of eyeshadow for some people. Maybe they don't want that many layers. My lips are feeling very dry, so give me 2 seconds. My lips are so dry and chapped. Right here is driving me crazy. I can't stand it. So next, what I want to do is I want to throw in some more of that peachy orangey shades that I've been seeing in the trees. So what I'm going to do is on the second row, this very last, let me see here. Yeah. I'm going to use this very last color on the second row, right here, with a flat brush so I can really pack the color on. And now I'm going to fill in this front half of my eyelid that I did not fill in with any of the other colors. And I'm just kind of packing it on there right now, bringing it up a little bit. Don't worry about the blending part yet. Right now we just want to get the color on there. So I'm just kind of packing it on. Kind of just stamping, patting motions. Make sure that they're even. And again, I'm like bringing it up a little bit higher there. And then I'm going to take my M433 brush again, my Morphe brush, dip it into there, and now I'm just going to kind of blend it out into the other colors. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Now you could put some shimmer on there if you wanted to. You could just leave it. You don't have to use shimmer. I'm going to go back into the first two colors I used in the top row up here, these last two that I mixed together, because I feel like I kind of lost some of that on the top of my eye. So I just want to kind of reintroduce it a little bit. My gosh, guys, if you saw my desk right now, I'm trying to keep things from falling over. There we go. Now, what I like to do is I like to take a very clean, fluffy brush, I don't use this for nothing except for this purpose only. I just like to go around the edges and soften them out with this clean brush, just so they're not harsh and they're all blended out nicely. And I just keep a towel on my lap and I kind of wipe it off in between. I want to get myself one of them Sigma Switch cleaning mats, but every time I try to go on there, they're always sold out. So they must be that good. Then I wouldn't have to keep dirtying a million towels. And I wouldn't have to listen to my husband complain because there's so many dirty towels with makeup. And they're not really dirty, they're clean. They went through the washer and the dryer, but they're just stained now. But it drives him insane. Next, we're going to move on to our face, and we'll come back to the eyes and stuff after. So, I got this a while ago at the Sephora, or not the Sephora, the 21 Days of Ulta sale. It's called Eborian Korean Skin Therapy CC Cream. It's a high definition radiance face cream skin perfector with broad spectrum SPF 25 sunscreen. I hope this is going to be a good color match for me because I have not tried it yet. But it just comes in this little squeezy tube. I've never heard of this brand before, but I wanted to give them a try. So let's, well, this is not what I was expecting at all. It's very white for a CC cream. Let's see. Is this just a sunscreen? Or is it like... Ah, so I see, look. If you start rubbing it into your skin, it starts to kind of match to it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very creamy though. But it definitely is pigmented after you start blending it in. Because now the whole back of my hand has, right here is one color and down here is different. So, okay. We might have to use our fingers to blend this in, which I don't like to do. I just have this weird thing with having dirty fingers, so we'll see what happens. Or if I'm going to be using way too much of this stuff. I don't know what kind of coverage it's going to give. Doesn't say. I think this might be like a perfect thing for like a no makeup kind of day. And it has like a pinky tone to it right now. I just want to make sure this is blended in really good. Okay, so as far as cover-wise, it is definitely not a coverage type foundation, really. It definitely has that kind of, I don't know, almost like, kind of like greasy feeling like that some sunscreens have. But this is very, very, very light coverage. Definitely would be like if you're having a good skin day, and you just want, you know, something on your skin though. Maybe you have a little bit of redness or something like that. Like I have redness on my cheeks over here and stuff. It did definitely help cover that up a little bit, so it's not quite as bad as it was. But it's definitely not giving me any like full coverage or medium coverage. It's definitely a very, very light coverage, that's for sure. And my redness here is not quite as severe as some people's can be. And right now my face is doing really good. I don't have any major breakouts. You know, I've got a couple little pimples down here by my mouth. A couple over here on the side. You can see the pimple itself like sticking up, but you can't, it kind of did cover that redness up. So that's it's a pretty cool product. Wonder how it's going to last throughout the day though. We shall see. Concealer. Oh, so I went and gave in and bought the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Concealer. I have not tried this. I'm sure I've mentioned before I'm not a huge fan of concealer, only because I don't have really dark circles or anything that I need to conceal. But I do like them for the fact, you know, with the brightening and stuff like that. Are you coming out? You're coming out. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I don't like how big this is. Let's see if I can find a brush. I don't like how big this is because I feel like it's just going to put way too much product on, but I guess we'll just go. Because what I like to do is I like to start right there, and I just kind of bring it a little bit down the side of my nose there, and then, oh no, just a little bit there. I don't like a ton of concealer. Actually, you know what, I might as well. Might as well just do the rest while we're at it. Oh, poopies. I forgot to wet my beauty blender. I do this every time. Hold on, let me go wet this and I'll be right back. Alright, we're wet. Yay. Well, not wet. Damp. You know what I mean. Okay, so let's just blend this out. I think it might be a little too light for me since I used such a light foundation today, but we'll just go with it. Now this is where I have to be really careful because I do have wrinkles here. This is why I don't. So I go down and around and start blending. And then when there's only a little bit left, that's when I start bringing it up under the eye. because I want as little amount of product under there as possible to help without any creasing or cakiness under my eyes. What I try to do is I keep it in the corners here where you do get the shadowing, and then brightness down here a little bit, and then go up. And I want to make sure that I push that in really good. Excuse me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of my Laura Mercier translucent powder. And I just want to set. I like to set with this brush. This is I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Bean something, I think. I probably got this in a BoxyCharm box at one point when I used to get those. But I put a really little bit on the brush, and then I push it in. You could probably use your sponge too. Now, I have dry skin, so I don't like to set my whole face because A, it makes my face look really dry if I set the whole thing, and then it can make my makeup look cakey, especially in spots where my face is a lot more drier than other spots. So I will typically only do under my eyes. They do not seem to have a problem with dryness under there. So I typically will only set right under my eyes here, just to help stop that concealer or my foundation, whatever I use under my eyes, from caking up and emphasizing all my wrinkles. But the trick is, at my age, we don't want to bake or anything like that, because, girlfriend, that is going to just make it look way worse. So, I am going to go back to my eyes. We're going to go back into the Pinky Rose palette. And what I'm going to do is I am going to find the right brush. I'm going to take this Morphe 456 brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the two browns that we used earlier. So the last one in the third row and the first one in the fourth row. I'm going to kind of mix those two together a little bit. Just back and forth a couple times. And I'm going to bring that right up where my lash line is. Now you could just go a third, halfway, all the way. That, you know, again, is personal preference. I'm just going to run that along my lower lash line. Or you don't have to put anything under there. It's up to you. I personally like having something under there that's so I don't feel like I look like a zombie. And now I'm just going to take the Morphe M433 brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the first two colors that we used, the last two colors on the very top row, mix those two together, and kind of just blend that in a little bit. And then I'm going to take that corally color that we used, and I'm going to kind of just run a little bit of that right in the front here, almost mimicking what I did on the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I am going to put some mascara on so that can dry. I think I might do some falsies. I don't know yet. We'll see. Depends on how the mascara looks. I'm not going anywhere today, so I probably won't, but we'll see. Now, I'm not doing eyeliner today. A nice wing would look really pretty with this. Or, you know, just regular liner. Or even a really soft brown. And I'm using Grande Drama for my eye mascara. So far, I have been using this one a lot lately because I find it flakes the least on me out of the millions of mascaras that I own. I have very watery eyes all the time though, so even when it says waterproof, it's still not waterproof on me. But I do find that this one is very beautiful when it comes to volumizing and lengthening my eyelashes too. So everybody's all, you know, raving about the Sky High and all that other stuff. I mean, I have the Sky High. It's alright. But it's not my preferred go-to. The Maybelline Lash Sensational in the pink tube, that is my all-time favorite go-to. I have used that for years, ever since it came out. And I had a brand new one, but a girlfriend of mine was telling me that her mascara was like umpteen years old and she was still using it. I was like, oh my God, girl. Us just begging for eye infections and everything else that comes along with that. So I gave it to her. I'm like, throw that out now. Please, please just don't use your mascara that long. I know they're expensive, but you know what? Save $1 out of your check every week. And girl, then throw it to the side, don't touch it, and you got enough money to buy a new mascara every couple months. The little hack that I use when I want to buy stuff. So I'm not broke all the time. Okay, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I have the fastest eyebrow routine you will ever see. Because I'm not one for the new fluffy eyebrow trend because I think it looks really funny on me. And I'm just not used to it, and that's probably why. But I'm just not into it. I'm just not into the big drawn-on blocked look either. I just like mine to look very natural. That's it. Nothing special, nothing fancy. They don't do anything special or fancy either. Like this eye sits up a little bit higher because I constantly am doing that one eye thing. You know, I'm watching you. Yeah. I do that a lot. So this one, the muscle is a lot stronger, so it kind of sits up a little bit higher than this side, if you haven't noticed in my videos already. But what I do is I take my eyebrow pencil, and I have so many in different colors because my hair is constantly changing. But this one is the Billion Dollar Brows. It's waterproof, and it's in the color taupe, but it's more of a... If you ask me, it's more of a light brown. When I think of taupe, I think of something a little bit lighter than that. But what I do is I take my pencil, and it doesn't have to be the little tiny pointy one like this. I mean, it could be, you know, the angled one like the Anastasia. My ABH one is the little like triangle shaped type one. I still do the same thing. So what I do is I just hold the pencil gently, and then I just rub it across the hairs. I don't push it down hard enough to actually draw on the skin itself. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to color the hairs on my eyebrows to make it look like I have eyebrows, because especially in the sun, it looks like I have no eyebrows because they can be so light. But I just glide it back and forth. You gotta have the right pencil too. If it's really, really, really hard, it's gonna be a little bit harder to do this. But I just glide it back and forth. Now this is a very soft, not too soft, but it's soft enough to where I can draw on my hand and it gives me good payoff, but it's not breaking and snapping off as I'm doing it either if I put a little bit of pressure on it too. So, and then I just glide it across my eyebrow hairs. So this is just my little hack for natural brows if you're not into the laminated soap brow thing, and you just want your brows to look natural but still look filled in like you actually have brows and you don't have lots of sparse space, because a lot of times, sometimes it looks like your brows are very sparse because they're so light. Then what I do is I go back to my spoolie and then I brush them out, make sure that that gets distributed throughout my brow hairs. Now see, they're kind of a little dark because my hair right now is a little dark versus my natural blonde hair. So, and my eyebrows are definitely screaming for a wax. And I make sure I don't have any product on my skin. I am not one for carving my brows out with my concealer or anything like that, simply because they don't really do anything. I don't have a beautiful arch or anything like that. I would give anything to, though. Anything in the world to have a beautiful arched brow. Now I know they look a little stark right now, but that's because my hair is up and you can't see anything. And since my hair is darker, more brown this month, I'm using a little bit of a darker color to kind of get my eyebrows to balance out with the hair. And then I go in with this just Essence Make Me Brow Gel Brow Fiber. And then I just put a little bit of that in there in case they still look a little not full. I'm not one for super thick looking brows, but I don't want them to look... Thank God I was not into the brow plucking stage growing up in the 90s and the 80s, because I do get very thick brows, but I do like them to stay a little bit on the thinner side, but not pencil thin either. And then I just fill them in like that. And I know you said, oh, but that was supposed to be like super, super quick. And it took me a little longer because I'm yapping, but normally it's just bing, 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 done. Bronzer. I'm going to use my NARS Valoretta Matte Bronzer. Just looks like this. Not super dark because I'm not very dark right now because it is cold and we haven't seen the sun in centuries. Now, I am not one for contouring. I don't believe in it. Just my personal taste. Contouring was more made for stage, theater, photos, being on TV, stuff like that. Because of all the harsh lights that you're under. So they invented contouring to try to emphasize people's features. But in real life, when I see people that contour, especially if they don't blend it out right, it just looks very harsh and stark. So I just like to use a bronzer to put a little bit of color back in my face. And sometimes I'll take a little bit down my neck here. And I know some of you are going to say, you're going to hate me when I say this, but I don't care how much you contour your neck, you ain't getting rid of that. There is no contour in the world that could ever make that go away. There just isn't. I hate to say it, but there's not. There really isn't. Next, I'm going to put my blush on, and I want to use like a peachy colored blush. So I thought I would try this. I still haven't used this. I got this at the 21 Days of Ulta sale. It is the xoxo Apricot. Now you can use this for your lips, cheeks, either both together. It doesn't matter, but it kind of gives me that nice rusticy color that I'm kind of looking for, you know, with the nice look that we've got going with our cute little autumn eyes. So I'm just going to take a small stippling brush here and put some of that on there. I don't know how pigmented this is going to be, so I'm just going to test it on the back of my hand. And it is not giving me any color payoff. Unless it's the brush. I'm not getting nothing. Do you guys see anything? Not there, right here. Let's try. Well, it comes off a little bit when you rub it on your hands, so maybe let's try. Please don't mess up my makeup. Please, 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 please. You really gotta push this down into your skin to get it to give you any kind of payoff. Let me just see if we can blend this out some. I mean, it's a pretty color. I won't lie, I love the color. Definitely gives me that fall is here vibe. Get some on the nose here. My gosh, guys, it's garbage day, and there's a garbage truck right behind my house. I know, everybody always says this. I hope you can't hear that, though. It's a pretty color. It definitely is a pretty color. I might try and use that on my lips, too. We'll see how that works out. I just want to see. The only thing I don't like is I don't have anything to set it with. So I usually like to set my cream products with a powder product, and I don't have one, but we'll see how long this lasts as a cream product. I feel like I need to put some more bronzer on. I kind of lost it. I'm going to use my Nabla Skin Glazing in Privileged to highlight my cheekbones, because this has been like I've made a little dent in this already. I am in love with this one. It just looks so natural. It's not super, super vibrant, because I'm not into very stark, bam, in your eyes. But look at how beautiful that glow is. It's just such a natural glow. Pink. I just think it is stunning. I mean, I'm addicted to it right now. It's the only highlighter I've been using lately, as I have a piece of hair on my face. I never highlight my Cupid's bow because I'm constantly drinking coffee and stuff all day, so it's gone and within minutes after me doing my makeup. So there's no point. I'm going to use my 24-hour Benefit Brow Setter and just set my eyebrows because I just like them set in place. and that this is my favorite. Stay. All right, time for the lippy lips. I'm going to use the lightest lip liner from the e.l.f. Retro Paradise collection. I wish they had names, but they don't. But I'm going to use this to line my lips. Kind of fill them in a little bit. Because I have a feeling that that lip cheek duo is going to be super light. Just blending the lip liner out so it's all even on my lips. So I'm just going to take my finger and kind of rub it on here, and I'm going to use my finger to apply it and see if we can get the piece of hair that was dangling in front of my eye away. Okay, so it's a very pretty color on the lip, but not very noticeable. So I'm going to take my Milani. This one is the color Pleasure. I'm just going to go and do that. Let's go over that. Now we'll put some of this over it. Like a gloss almost. I'm not loving it. What do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe. I think it looks cute on the cheeks. I'm not loving it on the lips, though. Alright. I think we need a little more bronzer here. Feels a little stark white there, doesn't it? Okay, look at this guy. Does anyone else ever have this problem? Headbands don't like me. I don't. Whatever, we're rolling with it. Alright, I'm going to set my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow because Mama likes a glowy skin. Hey, stay, you little bunny ears. My gosh. You know, you don't ask much from a headband. You think it would just work. Let's try this a little bit. And now I'm going to take my sponge and make sure everything is pressed into the skin and blend it out really nice. No harsh edges. I think that looks cute. You know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to take the e.l.f. Putty Blush. This is the color Turks and Caicos. So I'm going to put some of this on my lips. I know it's blush, but what's it going to do? Nothing. I feel like I just need more color. They feel so washed out. Yeah, I'm still not liking it. Okay, guys. Hair is all done. Makeup is all done. I did not like the lips, so I swapped it out. So as you can tell, this has been loved very much. This is a Rimmel lip liner, and it is in the color 1000 Kisses. This is my go-to all the time. And I just filled in my lips all the way with this, and then I just used my Ofra Smiley for Riley lip gloss and ran that all over the top a little bit, and that gave me this color, which I'm a little happier with. But I decided not to do fake lashes just because of the simple fact of the bangs and the way they swoop down, and they would just constantly be hitting the lashes, and that would just drive me insane. So I did not put any fake lashes on, and I just did a little bit of highlighter in the corner of my eyes. I used the same highlighter that I used on my face, just to highlight the corners of the inside of my eyes, because I totally forgot to do that. And I remembered when I was getting ready to turn the camera back on that I forgot to highlight my eyes. So this is my fall look, I guess you can call it. Like, this is the look that I was inspired by from the trees, with the ruddy tones and the browns and the peachy oranges and stuff. So I hope you guys liked it. I'm sure you guys probably have tons of similar colors if you don't have that palette. I'm pretty sure you can still get that palette too. I ordered that separate from a BoxyCharm that I got. It was an add-on. I might have a bit of a makeup problem, but don't tell my husband. But anyway, I'm sure you probably have tons of colors that are very similar to that palette where you can still get the same kind of look if you love it. If you create this look, you know, let me know. Tag me on Instagrams. I want to see your looks too. I don't do a ton of full faces on here. I'm usually testing things or trying things, but I just wanted to show you guys that I'm more at makeup than just trying viral TikTok hacks and all that other stupid stuff. You know, and I can do other things. I might not be one of those people that, you know, can do that outstanding, amazing makeup, you know, like you would see in movies, you know, like, I look like a human 1 second, and the next second I look like some kind of fairy tale creature. No, I don't. I can't. I've never really even tried though, so I don't know. I mean, I've done a couple little things for Halloween here and there. I made myself look like a lion one year, but that's not my go-to. This is my go-to. This is, you know, something that I would wear this to leave the house every day. Like, this is a natural look for me. You know, I'm very much into having beautiful, bold eyes because I get a lot of compliments on my eyes all the time. I'm constantly getting told that I have bedroom eyes. I have no clue what that means, but whatever it is, I'm taking it as a compliment. I don't even know if it is or isn't. I'm probably getting insulted and have no freaking clue. I don't have beautiful, juicy, voluptuous lips. I wish I did, but I have these little itty-bitty baby lips that I have to work with. And, you know, with all the weight that I've gained over the year and a half now, maybe even longer, I have a lot of self-confidence about it, and my makeup is something that gives me joy, and I hope that it gives you joy too. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit that like button. It would really help me out a lot. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see this mug more. It's free. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this full face, fall inspired look. And like I said, if you recreate something like this, tag me on Instagram. My Instagram will be in the description bar below. So yeah, I would love to see your version of either what I did or your version of what you feel is a fall inspired look. So I hope you guys have a great, wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.